See, I've been watching anime for a long time. For me, it all started with Naruto. This underdog ninja trying to make it in a world where everyone hated him was something that I really resonated with as a kid, and I just fell in love with it as I grew up alongside him. Well, that was before it went from a story about ninjas and turned into a story about gods and Black Zetsu and Kaguya and this horrible music. But Naruto would be my gateway anime into all different kinds of other shows, and one that would finally lead me to watch Attack on Titan. I remember hearing about the show around when I was a freshman in college, and people would talk about how gruesome and epic the story was. I remember just by watching the opening, I was absolutely entranced. Like, damn, this freaking music is bumping, freaking. And then they're dancing around Titans in their 3D maneuver gear doing all this cool stuff, but then the actual show is just like... Oh my god, what did I just watch? I remember that being so jarring for me back when I watched the show. In most anime openings, they kinda serve as a preview for what's going to actually happen, and usually it gets you hyped as the protagonist fights the main antagonist of that season in a badass way. The same goes for Attack on Titan's opening, but when you watch the actual show, it's just like, oh my god, these dudes are getting absolutely destroyed by these Titans. In fact, I actually kind of hated Attack on Titan and thought it was mediocre at best for at least the first 2 seasons, mainly due to that exact reason. The show was interesting enough to hold my attention, but I always had so many problems with it. First of all, the characters were always something I found frustrating. Let's talk about Eren for a second. Eren is always pissed off, which, I get it, his mom was killed by Titans and now he's gonna kill every last one of them. But then, he can't actually deliver on that because, you know, they're Titans and he's, Eren. So he just feels like this big talker that just cries and cries and cries when he can't get his revenge, almost like a big old baby. Then you have Mikasa, who loves Eren endlessly because he gave her a scarf. She also wants to protect him, almost obsessively so, to a degree that was just straight up off-putting at times. She's also insanely overpowered, which is cool and all, but like a lot of things in the series, I was just like, why is she so OP? And finally you have Armin, who serves as the brains of the bunch. I just never felt particularly attached to these characters because of these weird character tropes that just felt so unexplained. For example, in episode 5, where the squad heads out for their first mission and everyone just gets devoured by the Titans in a shock factor that still sticks with me to this day. What an insane episode. Even Eren, the main character, gets eaten while saving Armin. And then you're just like, wow, I guess Armin's the new main character now? But then a couple episodes later, it's just like, what the fuck? Okay, Eren can turn into a Titan? Why can he turn into a Titan all of a sudden? Does that mean all Titans are humans? Have they been killing people this whole time? Is Eren a specific species of Titan? I will say though, it was pretty cool that Eren became the one thing he hated most. He wants to kill all Titans, eliminate every last one of them, and then all of a sudden, he himself is a Titan. I thought that was a very interesting plot development, and gave Eren a chance to really grow as a character, and for me to grow to like him more as well. See, this is where the show really drew me in, but also had me questioning how any of this made sense at all. All these questions kept popping into my head with seemingly zero answers for each and every episode that aired. At a point, it all had me wondering if my questions would even be answered, or just straight up ignored with how long the questions were left open-ended. Then there's the fact that our characters barely make any forward progress. By the end of the first season, the only thing we really know is that Eren isn't the only person who can turn into a Titan, and even then, they can't even question Annie because she encases herself in some sort of Titan armor. So with every new development, even if these new developments would sometimes answer some of my questions, there would just be more that would fill its place. When it's revealed that Reiner and Berthold are the armored and colossal Titan, again, I was left wondering, what is going on? I loved the twist, don't get me wrong, but if they're Titans like Eren, why are they so hell-bent on killing their own people? What does Berthold mean when he tells Reiner that we're warriors? Why can Eren freaking control Titans seemingly just by throwing his fist forward and yelling? Like, seriously? And what the hell is in that godforsaken basement? But slowly but surely, the answers start getting revealed. every single one of the questions gets answered spectacularly in a moment that had me going, oh, every single time. Honestly, at first the show seemed so simple-minded. Okay, you have 3 huge walls, titans surround the outside, and the titans want to eat the people inside. You'd think the entire show would just be about escaping the island and the surrounding titans, and the show would end once they reached the outside world. But no, the author thought 3 steps ahead of you. The titans were just the start of our characters' troubles. The whole entire world is their true enemy. Where other anime have trouble building up their sense of scale, Attack on Titan succeeds tremendously. One big problem I had with Naruto is how crazy everything got, with Jutsu destroying planets and Naruto being tied to a literal god, when before it was just like,
yeah, but now I'm able to summon a toad!
It just veered way too far from the original story about ninjas and getting the people around him to accept him for who he was. I think everyone can agree the pinnacle of Shippuden was after the Pain fight, where once the main problem of the series had been resolved, there was really only one thing left for Naruto to do before Shippuden should have ended. But Attack on Titan succeeds where other anime fail because it stays grounded with the original problem it presents from the very beginning of the show, while still increasing that same sense of scale. From the very first episode, Eren and his friends are fighting for their freedom. They want to be free of the walls, they don't want to be treated like livestock or lesser beings anymore. And when they finally rid themselves of the Titans and figure out that their true enemies are the Marlians that oppress the Eldians, it's the same problem that's just being presented on a much bigger scale. For example, take The Promised Neverland, a show that had a spectacular first season and a very similar setup to Attack on Titan, but it just failed to deliver the same quality of storytelling in its second season because it just didn't know where to go next. After the kids escape the orphanage into the world of monsters, the series just takes a nosedive, whereas in Attack on Titan, after its characters escape the walls, the series just keeps on getting better and better. I also love how rewatchable the series is. Just for this video, I went back and watched a couple episodes to do a bit of a refresher and also get some footage for the video, and I was surprised by the number of references to future events that the author sneaks in there. For instance, after Eren and his squad get wiped out, Annie asks Reiner, "What should we do?" And when you watch that the first time, it's like, oh, whatever, she's genuinely asking him what they should do in this hopeless situation, when in reality, she's actually asking him, yo, should we turn into Titans and finish this shit up? Let's talk about the 4th season for a bit. I'm an anime-only watcher, so as long as you're up to date to the latest episode released, there will be 0 spoilers in this video. With that being said, holy crap, the 4th season is awesome. This is by far my favorite season out of all the ones before it. The series takes a complete 180 and takes everything we once knew about these characters and flips it on its head. Remember how I said Eren was once a complete crybaby? Even after he gets to be a Titan, he's still crying over here. Well, in Season 4, no more crybaby Eren. We just get this cold cynic who coordinates this attack on the Marlians seemingly by himself. Yeah, Mikasa, Armin, and everyone else we've come to know, they were pretty much forced into this operation. Armin, whose life was ruined by the Colossal Titan, is now using it against the Marlians to recreate the same scenario they went through as children. And Eren was the mastermind behind all of it. It's such a weird turn of events that I can't help but think the creator is cooking something else up behind the scenes. Sure, I knew Eren was a revenge-hungry bastard, but he always looked after Mikasa, Armin, and his friends. For God's sake, Armin got burned to an absolute crisp, and he's out here begging Levi for his life to be saved. It just doesn't make sense to me for Eren to have this complete 180 all of a sudden. I definitely think there's more to this sudden development in the plot than we think, and I can't wait to find out what it is. If I had one thing to complain about in Attack on Titan's 4th season though, it's these new characters, Falco and Gabby. Man, when Gabby killed Sasha, oof, I was pissed. I get that Gabby is supposed to be a parallel to Eren and that she's a revenge-hungry Eldian that is on the Marlian side of things, but oof. It's just too late in the series for me to warm up to these characters when it took me so long to get acquainted enough with Eren, Armin, and Mikasa. Then again though, this author loves to surprise me with plot developments that I once found disappointing that turn out to be these absolute mind blows, so I'm gonna hold on any major criticisms until the final season airs. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's definitely something different I wanted to try out here, but after watching Attack on Titan's latest season, I just had to gush about my thoughts on it in video form. Regardless, I appreciate you guys watching, and let me know down in the comments below what you think about Attack on Titan as a whole up to this point. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because otherwise Attack on Titan is going to end up like the Promised Neverland, okay guys?